find an amp that my pal Ivor has one. I remember playing through it. I looked it up, and it turns out I don't have a video on it, but I can kind of remember it awful well. Maybe it was before I started doing videos I got a shot of it. Anyway, 2x10 combo Fender vaporizer. So it's like a 12 watt valve amp with like a volume, a tone and a reverb tank in it. So 3 knobs and then a bright and a normal input. That's kind of it. It's also got which I think was in the picture, a vaporizer switch. I couldn't find it last night. I remember seeing there was the original, so maybe was it 11 years ago or 12 years ago that said the video was. So I assume that's kind of when it came out. Fender Pawn Shop series. So it's kind of to go with the Squires. I think they were about 300 odd, just over £300 brand new. It's kind of strange. I don't know. I like the idea of it because it's like I was watching Mr. Whitesnake using his tube screamer amp. Demoed it last night. Yeah, so I've got all the knobs at 12 o'clock, and it's like I've got it turned down to 5 watts. It's still so fucking loud, and it's like, oh, 5 watt valve amp is a loud thing. You know, it's like this. So I was like, basically, and you've got it at half volume. You know, I mean, okay, I've got my orange turned down to 7.5 watts, but I've got the volume controls at only just registering. You know, it's like if I turn it down anymore, it's off. So this should be 12 watts, 2 10-inch speakers. I don't know, it's like a really old-fashioned amp. It's kind of like the sort of thing that you can imagine being around at the time of the Fender Champ in the 50s. You know, okay, it kind of looks like a futuristic Jetsons television set. It's kind of turquoise and it's got like a mad zigzag shaped grill on it. Kind of looks like an old funky 50s TV or something like that. But the actual concept behind it is, you know, it's a very simple wee valve amp, the sort of thing you would get in the 50s, but it just didn't have very much to it to make it cheaper. And it's in a reasonably big box, but it's kind of designed to play gigs, sort of, you know. No, obviously you're not talking about heavy metal that didn't exist back then, but you know, it's still a gig in a pub kind of thing. It would still cut it, I would have thought. So I'm quite looking forward to it. It's quite cheap as well. It's a bit dented, the badge. The guy said the badge had split in half and was falling off, so he took it off. I wonder if he's still got the badge. It'd be amazing if he's still got it. It would totally be super gluing. It kind of looks a bit like the retro styling's very of the nuclear age with this vaporizer. It's kind of like very like that Fallout thing, you know, sort of 50s nuclear shit thing. But I just like the idea of it. I've also sitting there thinking I've now got a special surprise coming up this week, hopefully. But it means I can contact John Letts, the guy, bass builder. He wired a pickup for me before and I never actually paid him, but I'm going to actually be able to pay him next week. So I'm thinking when I send him his payment, I could maybe send him the Hofner pickup as well. The one for my wee Colorama, because I think something like the Colorama and that vaporizer are just absolutely meant for each other. I'm quite looking forward to it. I don't know how it will work as a... the more I think about it, the more I think I don't think I had it for any length of time. I don't think I did a video on it. Back in the day, it used to be very difficult to do, to record anything at any volume, because the webcam mics would just cut out. So it's quite amazing. I ended up watching an Anderton's video actually on the vaporizer, and it was 10 years ago, whatever it was, and the quality of the recording was nothing. You know, it's amazing how things have come along, and they were obviously a relatively big YouTube channel at the time, even though they were just starting yes, I'm actually quite excited about the amp. The guy, it's some Gumtree as well. I don't really like Gumtree, but the guy seems nice, so I don't think I'm going to be able to haggle for it. It's kind of at the price for it. The only thing that concerns me is if it's noisy, because I would like to be able to, I kind of think it would look cool on the wall behind me when I'm doing the sort of the simple shit. I love the idea of it. I mean, I always love the idea of a very, very simple valve amp. The problem is the very, very simple valve amp, your Epiphone Valve Junior, what was it, the PV one, the Royale something, they were like 5 watts or whatever, and they were just cheap, you know. So that was the problem, and they were like 120 quid sort of thing. I think they were maybe even less than that. So it's like, yeah, it's a lovely, the wee Fender Champ, a pal, I know a couple of people that have got them now, the wee Champ 600. Pal David's got one of them and it's only 5 watt or something, but it sounds wonderful. There's fuck all to it. I think I'm not even sure it's got more than one knob, it might just have volume, but it's just, you know, there's not very much to it, but all the bits they used were good for us. I think the thing about these wee, you know, 1 watt, 5 watt kind of wee tiny amps is they're cheap, because nobody wants to spend a couple £100 on it, so they're £100. It's like, oh, you just, the principle was there, whereas I think this vaporizer one, you know, at £300+ new, and it's only 12 watts. I think it's one of those things, there's likely only to be like 10 components in the thing, but they just choose better ones. You know, completely not an amp for all purposes. Do you know what I mean? But I don't need all purposes. I just for me, and I do dig the song. I'm already hearing any video I've seen of it. It's kind of got that spaghetti western Fender twangy sound. Yep, have that. I don't actually have any very old amps. When it comes down to amps, I suppose, I mean, the Marshall bass amp that I use, actually my big Marshall's probably technically vintage now, since I bought it 20 years ago, so it's probably 25 years old. But it's not old, you know, 2000s, late 90s. And I suppose the 200 watt Marshall used to be on my guns, probably 1986 or something like that. Even then, it's not old. It's the 80s, then the Softex 90s, I bought that new, so it doesn't seem old. The orange is new, 10 years old, something. I think still make the same one. I don't know if it really makes any difference when you buy something like that. I do really like that amp though. I was thinking about it earlier on. I was talking to someone about the Tiny Terror. The Tiny Terror being a great wee amp, but nothing like as good as that wee TH30 I've got. Because basically the Tiny Terror is, I had a shot of a Tiny Terror and it sounds exactly the same. If you put mine to half power, down to 15 watts, and then just use the right hand channel, the drive channel, it is a Tiny Terror. That's what you've got. But it's also got a clean channel, and it's also got you're running it at 15 watts. You can double the power, so you can hit the switch and use all the valves, and it's twice the power. So it's just better. Also, I've got a thing about amp heads a little bit, with them not really being like the Tiny Terrors. Like, oh, just dug that, it's nice and easy, so you just take that and your 4x12 cabinet. No, yeah, but you want maybe orange, so it's like you just take that, and if there's a 4x12 cabinet there, or it's a big gig, take the 4x12 cabinet and use it, and okay, it's the same fucking head. But it means that if you're doing a small place, you don't need to take a smaller cabinet because it's already got one built into it. I like a combo. Yeah, but the vaporizer, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it sounds as... I've got a feeling I'm going to end up trying to make it sound good. I just hope it's... Like I always felt with the wee Valve Juniors and stuff like that, you just want them to be... They just don't have that sound. You can tell they're valves, but it's not a nice sound. They're very funky looking at. Nice size as well, 2x10. So it's got some girth to it. I think when it's like so many amps, you're running them so much, so quiet, you know, so quietly. Mind you, why am I using a 30 watt 1x12, let's be honest, that's 100% a gigging amp. Why am I using that in the house? There would be an idea of, wouldn't it be nice if you could buy an amp like that, so the quality was the same, but it just wasn't as powerful, you know, just like something. But then again, people wouldn't buy it, because if you're going to buy a £500 or £800 amp, you've got to be able to gig with it. You can't have that in the house. It's all swings and roundabouts. It's a bit mental. You know, just because it's for the house doesn't mean it has to be tiny. There's got to be something to be said for having like just basically a decent sized speaker, you know, a 10-inch or a couple of 10s or a 12-inch speaker, but just running it without that much power. So, you know, an amp that's actually designed to give a good sound at that level, and that's why like all your Claptons and Neil Young and all record with the Fender Champ, because you can actually run it so it sounded like a pure screaming banshee, but it doesn't make your face bleed when you're trying to adjust it, because it's not that loud, you know what I mean? It would kind of get lost in the mix if you were trying to gig it, because it would be too tinny, so it wouldn't compete with drums and shit. But for recording, it sounds phenomenal. It sounds better than, you know, the Crank Marshall 50 watt that you have to use to compete with the drums. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. I've got to wait till I'm going for a wee drive with Jen. To do the charity shops, just not buy anything because I've already bought an amp. Although I did manage to, first time we went to the one in Helensburgh, Dumbarton, whatever it is, bought the windy bit of road. I've got a learner in front of me. I seem to be driving okay, maybe it's the teacher showing them how to do it. I did the charity shop things. The first time I went to the one in Dumbarton, or Helensburgh, Dumbarton, I bought a cabinet, took it up to the chalet. That time we went and put the J-Pax guitar down the waterfall. I bought a wee 4x8 cabinet, which was a fantastic wee cabinet. I sold it to a guy I know, and he's using it, says it's brilliant. I knew it was, it's brilliant. It's just that the thing was, it's got that White Horse logo on it, and if you look up the White Horse amp, it came with some shitty amp, like a Gear for Music type thing, and it was just, but it was a totally cool wee 4x8 cabinet, fantastic for any one of your wee fancy lunchboxy type amps. Remember that, I suppose we were talking there about what kind of amps you want to use in the house there, one of them, the wee, what's the one that Jen's got? The Joyo Bantam. Joyo, send me some of them, I want one. I remember seeing a video and it was a guy didn't have that many, he only had like 10,000 subs. I've got 5,000. There's that up here, yeah, I got sent this stuff about 6 months ago. I'm just doing a quick demo of it, I'm not really interested. Yeah, bastards sent them two of those wee amps. I'd love one of them. That's what Jen plays through. Got one in America. It was like, it's like a 30 watt. Is it 30 watt? Solid, I think it's got a valve preamp and a solid state power amp, and it's just a very simple little head, and if you run it through a 1x12 or cabinet or something like that, it just sounds, it's like, I could use that, definitely. I'm interested to see if the vaporizer passes my test, you know, the one that I have it in the house. Could I basically just have that for everything I use in the house? It's like, basically just needs to have a good clean sound, and then when I stick the loop pedal or stuff in it, that's it. It's even got reverb, which the other one doesn't have. Reverb's one of those things you would end up using on it all the time, because it's all you got. Oh yeah, I never mentioned, I started talking about the vaporizer foot switch. The vaporizer foot switch, basically when you stomp on it, just bypasses the volume and the tone control and puts them up at full bump. So it just makes it basically, it's just basically running full throttle with no hindrance. So I don't know whether that's ever going to be of any use. I'd imagine 12 watts to a 2x10 completely unhampered is probably screaming death, but see what happens. Basically I'm buying it because it looks cool. I'd kind of like, it's the sort of thing, I don't think Jen you can't really paint Tolex. It's the sort of amp that would look fantastic for a J-Pax paint job. It's also an amp I think I can totally imagine girls live in this amp. You know, just so they can have their whatever it is. They always seem to have a very expensive Fender guitar, and then they touch the strings like boom, boom. It's just like they're playing so softly that it sounds shit. That's the kind of thing I can imagine. Right, I'm going to turn this off. Rock on! Yeah, guitar or amplifier Safari successful. Also got this, I don't know if you can see it because it's dark, that's totally cool Kill Bill type 70s Puma tracksuit top in a charity shop. I don't know if it may be a vintage clothing store had closed down or something like that, but they had some really funky looking amazing jumpers, all in crazy sizes. Stuff I would have bought just basically straight out of Star Trek or Blake 7 or something like that. Fantastic. What else did I get? Funny looking trousers, I've got thousands of pockets in them. I don't know what they're going to be like either. Like fiver, really. But yeah, so I went and picked up the vaporizer, lovely wee guy. To you go round, it's like, you know, I've been playing it for the last hour, and it's actually really good. Like, don't change your mind. I didn't haggle, I'm not a haggler. But it's surprising, but not surprising, I kind of knew. It's surprising what it is, how good it sounds considering, yeah, what it is. It's like it's only a 12 watt valve amp, but it's got two 10-inch speakers in it, so it's kind of big, it sounds huge. Good. I'd tried stomping on the vaporizer thing and it's pure distortion and all that, so maybe the vaporizer thing does it a bit good. That looks fun. I wonder if they're moddable. I don't know if I would have wanted to mod it. I kind of like the idea of just playing with actually that amp and the Shocking Bird would be a nice combo, because then you would have, you know, a single coil pickup. Right, I'm going to try and find a can. What's that? It's actually a can of water. It'll do. Still managed to get the green, what do you call it, liquid death. But I think I did much better at download because I drank 24 cans of this. Oh, not so much, not the fizzy one with lime on it. It was just the white can, just cans of water. Home Bargains, it was £1 for 12. So I took a couple of cases down, and it was so handy. Just, you know, waking up in the morning, I'll just have a can of water. Plus, it was dead hot all the time. It was a great thing just to have, and you couldn't put it down. Like, well, a wee bottle of water, you drink it, and then you put the top on it, and you put it down, forget about it. With the can, you've kind of stuck with it, so you just end up just downing it. And I think just pretty much, it's generally a good idea to just drink punners of water. It's like, are you better drinking an extra couple of litres of water during the day? Aye. What happens if you drink too much water? Well, nothing. You can, really, within reason. Oh. Should I go and put petrol? I can't bother, I've got enough. No, I'll go to the middle. Okay, yeah, so I tried the vaporizer a wee bit at Jen's, just with one of the all sorts of guitars, and it sounds amazing. Just straight up, just plug it in, turn it on. Yep, it's a good sound. Just as well, because there's not really anything you can do about it if it wasn't. You know, it's like, oh, I'll try adjusting the controls. Well, you can adjust the tone or the volume. That's it. Although I did actually notice the bright input. I like the bright input. It's kind of tempted to do mods on it, but I mean, why? It's like, if you're going to have the simple one, it'd probably be pretty cool if I could put a switch to switch between the bright input and the... No, I don't know how I would do that. No, that's not really that easy. You need a relay. And then wondering, can I put a rat pedal in the top of it? With a 9-volt transformer that runs off somewhere? Can I find 9 volts on the... I don't know. I just get the feeling that but like the Strat rat with that's just going to be the rat Strat with that. That's going to be great. I need to get the wee Hofner up and running, because it just kind of, even though it is actually 1962 or 1963, whatever it is, the vaporizer looks like it is. Let's look at it as well. It's made by Fender. You know, it says Fender on the, you know, the bit on the back. It says made in by Fender, basically, but it's not a Fender vaporizer. I think the amp name of the amp brand is vaporizer, or I think there's only one. I don't think there's any other models. I think it's just that, just a vaporizer amp. I don't know how well it does. I mean, I've not seen one for years. It's the same. It's one of those things that comes up there. The guy paid 820 quid for it during lockdown. And basically it was a bit cheaper because the badge is missing off the front, and it's got a couple of really bad dents in the front because it's sort of grey blue. It's like, you can totally see the dents in it. It basically looks shit. So I don't really know. I don't know what I fancy doing with it. I fancy having it in my room, to be honest, and playing through it and using it for a wee while and decide what's cool about it. I just like the idea of it. It's like the sort of amp I want. I don't need it to be tiny, I don't need it to be super loud, I just need it. It's the size, isn't it? Probably loud enough for any gig. Well, because you just mic it up anyway, but yeah. It's also got a speaker output on it as well, so that'd be interesting. We're interested to see how good the 10-inch speakers are. It doesn't tell you what they are. They've got stickers on them, Vaporizer Special Edition speakers. Is that because they put really fucking cheap speakers in it? It's like, well, we don't really want it to have bell cap. We're charging 350 quid for this amp. Let's invest 50 cents and put stickers on them that say unique speaker, even though it's just a normal one. I think it says made in China on the back of it. No surprise really. But it's quite big and it's not that heavy, which is nice. So I basically think I'm looking forward to going home and just basically plugging one of the really expensive guitars into it for all that tone. Yeah, tone machine. The less things there are, the more tone. The less notes you play, the more tone you get. The less notes you play and the less things there are in the way. Guitar, cable, amp, speaker, ear, that's it. But then the amp's just preamp valve, power amp valve, out. What about the tone stack? Isn't one? Right. What about the rectifier? Nah, I don't even know what a rectifier is, but I don't think it's got any of those things. I think it's a class A or something like that it's called. I think one of the problems with it is with it being such a design you would never get. It's got to count for a lot on how much it costs to transport these things when they're new. Do you know what I mean? It's like what I'm saying there with it's got the two 10-inch speakers in it, and it's actually physically quite a big amp. It's not. It's okay. It's not as big as a Vox AC30. It's the same. But it's got a bit of a chunk to it. But it weighs nothing because it's mostly air. There's a speaker and there's the gaps all the way around it and all that stuff. Whereas if you're chucking out the Valve Junior or the PV Royal 8 or whatever it's called, you could probably get 4 of them in the same box as that. Weight probably doesn't count that much if you're talking about a container. You're just filling a container to ship it from China to wherever it's going. You could get 4 of those amps in the case of that. So that must be a significant cost difference to how much the amp actually costs. One of the reasons it costs 300 odd quid or 350 quid, whatever it is, because it costs so much to transport it just due to its size. So that, there's a thing for having it small, but because it's big and it's got room round about it, I think that's why it sounds good. It's like the best cabinets. It's the same with the cabinets for my big massive Marshall it's just 4x10s and a 1x15 cabinet, but they're fucking massive cabinets. It's like they're far bigger than the actual speakers. I think maybe just having a bit more space maybe makes it sound better. It makes it a bit of a bitch to carry, makes it heavier, makes it more expensive to build, makes it more expensive to transport. But if it makes it sound better, that's what it needs, isn't it? Right, so yeah, so that was another video probably not going to put out. That's it. It's now 20 to 11 at night. I don't know if you can see. It's like talking about the land of the midnight sun. That's like it's Scotland, sort of. If that bus doesn't feel like. Well, hopefully you can see that it's kind of, it is 20 to 11 at night. And okay, it's not the midnight sun and the sun's not actually still out, but you know what I mean, wouldn't it get that much darker? Well, I did wake up at 4 o'clock the other morning and got confused. I thought I'd slept for 18 hours and slept because I was slightly out of sync with the... Yeah, but it's daylight! 10:30 at night. Madness, I tell you. Is this when you want to go camping? Oh, I need to stop doing that. My car behind me better shat it. Whenever I go to touch because of I wasn't really looking for somewhere to mount the GoPro when I first got this car. It's right on top of a big massive hazard. With the hazard lights. And it's dead easy to just accidentally touch it when I'm fidgeting with the camera. Anyhow, rock on. Hey YouTube, so here it is, my first attempt at salmon pink trousers. They were £1. Still have the tags on them, so they're brand new, so yeah. Yeah, the vaporizer. I'll do a proper video of it. This is literally the first time I plugged it in. I've no idea what the volumes are going to be like, so it's 12 watts, two 10-inch speakers. I've mic'd it up. I think most of it's just getting picked up by this. Got reverb. I don't know if that's coming through, but it sounds absolutely huge. The volume's at like 1. But it's just got a big sound. I think it's one of those things with just having more speakers makes it more better. Moving more air. 2. Maybe. Yeah. So can I get it any lower? Quite a big reverb on it. That's the reverb at 1/4. Let's try it. I've only got one effect. Not using that very often. Bright input. Oh yeah. yeah, it was kind of. I think it sounds fantastic. I've not. Obviously, you can see that this lead. I need to get a. Need to cut my link. Get my links lead out. It's a wee bit short. I'm just going straight into the amp. All we've got is a normal input, a bright input, volume, tone, and then reverb. That's it. It does have a foot switch called a vaporizer, but that just puts it up at full bung, and currently that's about as low as it goes. But, I mean, it sounds huge. It does not sound like up here. Oh, how many watts is that? You wouldn't think it was 12. That's it. You can turn it off and just use the reverb channel to do it. Just playing through the reverb. But it's got a right snap to it. Yep, so once you get that, I'm going to get a proper play about with it, but that's my first go with a good, well, a decent guitar. Not a decent guitar, my guitar. The guy who demoed it a wee bit in his house, he was playing a left-handed one, so I never bothered having a shot. And then I had a 2-minute thing where I was testing one of Jen's, like a Telecaster prototype thing, just for 2 minutes for a video, and it sounded flipping amazing. So that's the first I've actually heard it. It's far, far louder than I thought it was. I mean, I don't even know. That was me going between 0 and 1 on the volume control. But it doesn't sound pure super strangled. It's like, it's a wee bit, I mean, basically what I'm aiming for is kind of the same sound I'm using there. I don't know what it's going to sound like with pedals. Basically, I just think it looks cool. It is missing a badge on the front, and it's got some really bad dinks in it. I'll set the camera up properly and do a proper video of it. But this is just the Guitar Safari one. Assuming the Guitar Safari thing worked, I've just uploaded it. So if I can stitch the two of them together, then we'll get a guitar, an amp Safari with a bit in the car, and then this bit. Rock on. I'm not sure about the pink trousers. Don't know. Rock on. Like and subscribe.